From the stable of Kola Obadimu Junior's Playhouse, Segun Shewumi Unscripted.
Culture. I think the culture is difficult to define, but I will try by saying that it's actually the footprint of the attitude, conduct, behavioral pattern, and ways of life of the people. When it's happening, it's just their everyday thing. When you take a view on it after a long time, and you can begin to see some differentiation in the way Group A acts different from Group B, that which uniquely differentiates them, it's their culture. For us, where we are now, especially being Africans who are very rich and stupefied in culture, you will feel sad that the outbringers and holders of our cultural journey are kings and traditional rulers. They have totally forgotten precisely on whose stool and on what behest they are being revered. Their children no longer speak their language, and when you can no longer find people speaking your language, you have started to erase yourself from existence. And make no boast about it, some civilizations spoke languages like Latin and some other languages, and because of carelessness and not paying attention to it, it almost but disappeared, save for the Roman Catholic Church, who still painstakingly helps them to retain the semblance of that language. What about the language of the Lord Jesus Christ, Aramaic? I'm not sure there are people who can still speak Aramaic today. Thank goodness God, being a Yoruba man, our language has survived from inception of the world till now, but we are seeing that this generation are beginning to act in manners that suggest as if the language and our practices and our behavior no longer matters. This is an environment where Yorubas uniquely kneel down on their two knees to greet their parents, while the children lie down flat to greet those that are elderly to them. Suddenly, that which is uniquely differentiating us from the others, we have lost it. Right now, we don't even know our mode of greeting. Some children do this, some children just touch the floor, some children stand tall to talk to their parents and people that are older than them as if they are equal, without really realizing that slowly but gradually they are beginning to get extinguished. What about their medicinal roots and herbs? We can date when the first set of medical science, European-style medicine came into this environment. How did the Africans preserve themselves, survive, kept themselves? Of course, they kept themselves in their roots, in their herbs, in their incantations, and in their animist things that they call their traditional belief system. Where is it today? Even that is all but gone. It has been reduced to only the devil worship and unnecessarily difficult to place, annoying, offensive, odoriferous practices that now leads them to be people who now kill people and do what you call human ritual. Under normal circumstances, if we knew who we were and what we are, and our kings knew precisely what their responsibilities are, such a vice cannot take place in an environment that you still have the kings and the baales and the traditional rulers as the custodian of the culture of the people. For the question would then be asked, who are those that are doing those things for them, leading them into the direction of some dastardly thing? That's not who we are. That's not what we've always been. But alas, the authority by which they can impact society and move society in all of the right places, they have lost it because they themselves are no longer able to carry the full burden of the responsibility of the kingship they have. That's why you now see them asking people to now enthrone them as traditional rulers, only to bury them as members of other society. You cannot eat your cake, you cannot have it. The mummification process of the ancient Egyptians was preserved for them for centuries, and even today, when you go into the archives, you can still see their pattern and their style of burial and worship. Now, they lost their kings, so maybe they lost that style. But here we are, We want to retain our kings, but we want to lose the burial style that our parents and our forebears left with us. What about the way we dress? What about the food we eat? What about the attitude we keep? What about the values we hold? What about the responsibility they even bear for themselves? Alas, Africa, Nigeria, the Yoruba nation, and my Egba stock. Wake up, lest tomorrow you will look down from where your grandparents have gone, which is death, and you will find out from the land of the dead that you no longer can find traces of what was left for you because you have not taken the pain to nurture it, to find it to be of value, to preserve it jealously, and to pass it down undiluted to the next generation to take it on. And I tell you again, any people that forgets their culture and tradition automatically forgets themselves. Look at me. I am speaking English. Would I truly be able to speak Yoruba like this? Thank goodness God, my dad and my parents instilled in me that there can be no pretenses and there can be no education if that education will mean a jettisoning of your own culture. And as such, I can speak my language just as well as I speak English. And therefore I will say, Abila aran odede Egba, mo kí gbogbo yín nílé lóko, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé àṣà àti ìṣe wa lárugẹ nítorí ibẹ̀ ni wọ́n tọ́jú ọgbọ́n ayérayé sí fún àwọn ìran tìsín àti ìran tó ń bọ̀. Ire o.
Ṣẹ́gun Ṣómùmí, unscripted.